Hello and welcome to Old Lady Plays. I'm Kate, the Old Lady, and this is Advanced Squad Leader, Scenario T2, the Puma Prowls, and we're looking at Turn 2. Turn 2 for both teams because, Turn 2 for both sides, shall we say, rather than teams. I think teams is understating it just a little bit. So, Turn 2 for both sides as we move into the nearly shooting part of the video. We'll see how things go. Just give it a second here while I move over to the next scene and we begin getting a look at this. First thing I have to draw your attention to is that the two Russian tanks, which I had initially moved up the edge of the board, I was informed, and it turned out that I was correctly informed, that you cannot bypass brush, which is what this is over here. And I had bypassed brush to get to where I was with those two tanks. So having that taken away from me, I had no option really but to put them in line with the other three tanks. So I have done so. It seemed an easy enough fix. Nobody's line of sight was affected or ability to shoot or anything. So I didn't see it as being a mistake that was too impossible to fix. I do want to say how much I really appreciate when people take the time to leave comments that correct me on things. It's my belief that you wouldn't do that if you didn't care enough about the video to take the time to correct me. So I take it as a sign of great interest and I really appreciate it. I don't remember who it was. I know there was at least two people. I want to say Alan Harks, but that might be a football player. Anyway, I don't want to go look it up right now. But we're going to go through the moves for the Russians first here. And you'll just have to take my word for it. Nobody from the German side can see them. So, here we go. Start moving. There you go. And turn and move. And right about here, there, button up, and keep moving. I think that was where I buttoned up. Either way, we're good now anyway. So, buttoned up and stopped. This one follows the same path, of course. Gets to there. Cuts back. Also buttons up somewhere in here. I can't remember exactly where. Whoa, hello. A big old finger just wandered into the game. Oh, and it's back. That's so frustrating. I work hours on the editing of these things and I still keep making mistakes like that. That's frustrating. And yes, I did watch the video after editing it twice. And I thought I caught all the changes. Anyway, as you can see, the rest of the Russian tanks are moving. Spreading out a little bit just to make the Germans' lives a little bit more difficult because they can exit from either board. So I think it's useful to have it's useful to have the tanks able to play as loose elements, like not, you know, an element of 2 and an element of 3 or whatever, because that allows me to get some tactical flexibility around countering the other units. One of these times I'm going to get it completely right and I won't make that mistake. There won't be any big grubby fingers sticking into the middle of my video. That guy stops and stays in motion. Alright, hold on, now let's just hold on here for a second before anybody moves over on the German side. This guy here and this guy here are still in motion. Everybody on the Russian side is now buttoned up. And that's it, we're happy. Ta-da, it's been moved. And here we are. We're now down at the other end of the board. Show me those German moves. Shimmy, shimmy, Coco Bop. And turning back along the road here. Up, cut around the edge, turn around completely, and set up looking down the hex spine. This guy turns around and comes back across the formation and sets up just the other side of the same woods. This one moves forward a little bit and sets up with a shot down toward the bridge. And finally the fourth moves onto the road, bypasses the edge of the building, gets into the hedge area, and stops. And there we go in that area. That's everybody moved. Now you might be able to see that there's some interesting shooting opportunities here. Now these guys could see each other. Alright, this guy could theoretically have shot at this one. It would have been at the least, never mind that it was also in motion and had not spent many or any LOS, MP in the LOS of the shooting tank. He'd have 1, 2, and possibly 3 hindrances from the orchard, plus 1 from the hedge. The tank would be hull down, or the armored car would be hull down. It would be in motion and quickly, without having spent time in the end. It was not a good shot. Let's put it that way. So that's why that shot didn't get taken. Same thing for this guy here, who had the same sort of shot, but again would have to clip his way through all these lines of orchards, and it's just, there's too many of them to make it a reasonable shot. So that's the way that's going to end the turn, and we're happy with the way that's come out. I like the defense that has developed here. Remember that there are 2 Russians tucked away up in the right corner there, ready to make their way down the edge of the board. So this guy here, while he has the one easy shot straight to the bridge, also has to be aware of guys coming up the side of the board. Whereas this fella here, who can get to one past the bridge, doesn't have a whole lot else in the way of shots. But he's got 2 tanks backed up, 2 armored cars backing him up on the far side, guarding the exit to the exit of the board. So I think it's a good setup. I hope we will see how it goes. I'm sure that I will be told by people where I made mistakes. I did count out the distances fairly carefully, so if it doesn't look like I had the place where they buttoned up right, that's probably the case. But I did count everything out, and they did move the appropriate amount or less. No worries. You will probably also tell me where I should have taken shots and maybe should have been a little more daring, but I didn't want to be shooting when I didn't have a reasonably decent chance of doing anything. I don't know why I felt that way, but I did. So I suppose I could have defensive fire now, but I didn't think of that when I shot this, so unfortunately that's going to have to do it. So we'll start the shooting in the next turn, and I think things will get hairy fairly quickly. That's going to do it for this episode. I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. I hope you have a great day, and take care.